Mastering Your Thoughts, Mind Hacks No One's Talking About, Detachment Secrets, and How to Kick Inner Emotions into High Gear. Written by Stacy L. Rainier. Narrated by Alana Marie Cheuvront. Introduction. For many years, I lived a life of self-doubt, anxiety, regret, guilt, and helplessness. I let negativity creep in and rule every aspect of my life. I learned to smile, laugh, and portray a positive exterior, but my mind worked full-time to remind me that it was all a show. In many ways, I hated myself and lived a life so much less than I knew I was capable of. Does this sound familiar? I have a very vivid memory of being on vacation. We saved for a year to be able to go. It was a dream of ours to rent a home on the beach in California. We wanted to take the family to Disneyland, eat at amazing restaurants, and lounge on the beach. We planned the vacation for months. We packed weeks before we left. That's how excited we were. It was our third day of vacation, and it had been the best time we ever had. It could not have been more perfect. We were upgraded to first class on our flight, our house was even nicer than we expected, and the weather was beautiful. We were laying on the beach, and I should have been enjoying everything and basking in the wonderful experience. Instead, my inner thoughts were that I looked overweight in the photos. I was anxious about being a victim of a random crime. I was worried constantly about our family's safety. And I couldn't stop stressing about the finances, even though I knew we had planned for it. I seemed incapable of enjoying anything, and it put me in a bad mood, because I was so angry at myself. What was wrong with me? That vacation was a pivotal moment for me. I was so tired of living in a state of negativity. At home, I was able to convince myself that it was normal. I was functioning on an everyday basis. I had a great career and lots of friends. I had convinced myself that I was just a negative person and that it was totally normal. If I stayed positive on the outside, it wasn't a big deal. As long as my inner thoughts weren't pushed outward, I felt like I wasn't doing any harm. I was fine. However, when I was in paradise and unable to enjoy it, I was not able to push down my doubts anymore. I was struggling with anxiety, depression, and negative self-talk. I realized more than ever that I wanted to change this, but I had no idea where to start. My starting point. When I decided to make a change for myself, I didn't realize the path I was starting down. I genuinely thought that my inner thoughts, as horrible and awful as they could be, weren't affecting my health and my life on a grand scale. I thought they were no big deal, and perhaps I didn't really need much change. I thought that if I could lower my stress levels a bit and learn to be a bit more positive, I would be fine. I couldn't have been more wrong. My research and journey made me aware of what my thoughts were doing to me, both physically and emotionally. I had no idea that by not taking them more seriously, I was damaging myself more and more each day. There were so many miraculous things that have changed as I have learned to master my thoughts. Since my resolution to work on my inner self, I have seen changes within my life that I couldn't have anticipated. 1. My sleep has improved, and I don't wake up tired as often as I used to. 2. I get sick much less. 3. I have lost weight. 4. I am more flexible with my schedule because I respond better to uncertainty. 5. My posture and demeanor have changed so much that I get comments on it regularly. 6. My energy levels are much higher. 7. I feel less brain fog and operate on a much higher level of productivity. 8. I'm more social. 9. My relationships and connections with loved ones have deepened in ways I didn't know they could.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?